All right. So, Congressman Steve Scalise released a video to Facebook earlier today. Breitbart's got the video, but we're gonna take a look at the video that they're gonna be referencing. They're gonna be referencing this video right here. So let's take a look at this first. Thanks to Breitbart for putting this up.
No exception. There was a very contentious committee hearing yesterday when Fairfax County Delegate Kathy Tran made her case for lifting restrictions on third trimester abortions, as well as other restrictions now in place. And she was pressed by a Republican delegate about whether her bill would permit an abortion even as a woman is essentially dilating, ready to give birth. And she answered that it would permit an abortion at that stage of labor. Do you support her measure and explain her answer?
Yeah, and I wasn't there, Julie, and I certainly can't speak for Delegate Tran, but I would tell you first thing I would say is this is why decisions such as this should be made by providers, physicians, and the mothers and fathers that are involved. There are, when we talk about third trimester abortions, these are done with the consent of obviously the mother, with the consent of the physicians, more than one physician, by the way. And it's done in cases where there may be severe deformities, there may be a fetus that's non-viable. So in this particular example, if a mother is in labor, I can tell you exactly what would happen. The infant would be delivered. The infant would be kept comfortable. The infant would be resuscitated if that's what the mother and the family desired. And then a discussion would ensue between the physicians and the mother. So I think this was really blown out of proportion. But again, we want the government not to be involved in these types of decisions. We want the decision to be made by the mothers and their providers. And this is why, Julie, that legislators, most of whom are men, by the way, shouldn't be telling a woman what she should and shouldn't be doing with her body.
And do you think multiple physicians should have to weigh in, as is currently required? She's trying to lift that requirement.
Well, I think it's always good to get a second opinion and for at least two providers to be involved in that decision, because these decisions shouldn't be taken lightly. And so, I would certainly support more than one provider.
All right, let's go back to the phones now for the governor.
All right. Well, and before you start getting angry and whatnot, let's at least take a look at the video right here.
When I heard Virginia Governor Ralph Northam, who's a pediatric neurologist, describe during an interview the process by which doctors determine to shelve unwanted abortion survivors, it hit painfully close to home to me. About third trimester abortions, he said, and I'm quoting, "If a mother's in labor, I can tell you exactly what would happen. The infant would be delivered. The infant would be kept comfortable. The infant would be resuscitated if that's what the mother and the family desired." Governor Northam was right. This is exactly what happens. I know because I cared for a dying baby on the other side of that decision. My experience was 20 years ago, but as Governor Northam made clear, this is still happening today. I was a registered nurse at Christ Hospital in Oak Lawn, Illinois, when I learned that it committed abortions into the second and third trimester. The procedure, called induced labor abortion, sometimes resulted in babies being aborted alive. And if they were aborted alive, they were allowed to die without any medical care or intervention whatsoever. They were given what was called comfort care, made comfortable, as Governor Northam indicated. One night, a nursing coworker was taking a little abortion survivor to the soiled utility room to die. And when she told me what she was doing, I couldn't bear the thought of this suffering child dying alone. He'd been aborted because he had Down syndrome, and he was between 21 and 22 weeks old, about the size of my hand. And he didn't move very much because he was using all of his energy attempting to breathe. And I remember toward the end of his life, I couldn't tell if he was alive or not unless I held him up against the light to see if I could see his heart beating through his chest wall, because their skin is so thin at that age. And after he was pronounced dead, I folded his little arms across his chest. I tied them together with a little string. I wrapped him in a shroud, and I took him to the morgue where we took all of our dead patients. That word comfortable, which Governor Northam used, is particularly grating to me. How far will doctors go to comfort themselves for letting abortion survivors die? Well, after I went public about survivors being taken to the soiled utility room, Christ Hospital created what it called the Comfort Room. This was a small, nicely decorated room, complete with a first photo machine in case parents wanted professional pictures taken of their aborted babies, baptismal supplies in case they wanted their aborted babies baptized, and a foot printer and baby bracelets in case they wanted keepsakes of their aborted baby. And you may not think that what I'm telling you can possibly be true, but I took pictures of that comfort room and I have submitted them today with my testimony. Clearly, little abortion
I'll tell you, I
survivors
wanna see those
desperately
photos.
need you to pass the Born Alive Abortion Survivors Protection Act to provide them with legal medical protections and not leave open the door whether they live or die. It is hard for me to imagine that any legislator would be comfortable with infanticide.
All right. Well, thanks to Breitbart for relaying this news. Yeah, so that's pretty powerful. It's pretty powerful. For I don't know about you, but abortion's murder. You really can't beat around the bush on that one. It just is in fact murder. I mean, you could try to justify it in certain cases, I suppose, but you still have to acknowledge the fact that it is ending a life. It is in fact murder. So, and everything else in here, it's pretty much just talking about what happens in the videos. So it's really not that important. Let's go ahead and take a look at the comments. Please remember this heartbreaking story next time you contemplate the evil of the Democratic Party. That's pretty good. A lot of people saying MAGA 2020. God damn, these threads on Breitbart go on for way too long. Holy fuck. Let's just go to Dissenter, I guess. Only one comment on Dissenter. That's actually kind of surprising. Hell's waiting for these bastards. I'll give you a thumbs up there, buddy. I agree. Yeah, it's just kind of fucked up. Just letting people fucking die in a broom closet, in a fucking broom closet next to the bleach and the mop. Just let them, just bring them back there. Fuck it. Who cares? Hopefully a lot more people will start caring soon. Anyways, that's it for now. Go ahead, like, share, follow, subscribe, whatever the fuck you need to do. Please, I would appreciate it. Anyways, peace out.